When I booked tickets for this year's Addams Family movie, I was going into it hoping to get a good first impression from the franchise, as believe it or not, this is my first time going into anything related to the Addams. Hell, they weren't even a thing I knew about until the trailers for this movie came out, meaning I didn't know if they had any other good shows or movies, but maybe I'll check them out at a later date, especially with how this movie turned out. I'm sure there's probably better media out there for the Addams Family, but this movie really needed a better script. Two newlyweds named Gomez and Morticia are forced to move away with their family after their town disapproves of their nature. They eventually find a new place to live far away from normal humans until a town just randomly shows up and there's this reality TV host that wants to redesign the house to fit with everyone else's. And when that goes wrong, her plan is to use social media to spread false rumors encouraging the town to commit genocide on the Addams house. Trust me, this story has a lot of flaws going against it, but where I want to actually start with this is the animation. The movie was handled animation-wise by Nitrogen Studios Canada, the same company that worked on Sausage Party. As some of you may know, there was some controversy surrounding the studio in which people believe there was harsh treatment and forced overtime caused during the production of Sausage Party. I bring this up in part to mention the impact it left on this movie's animation, and I gotta say, outside of some freakishly looking designs, I think it looks fine. The Addams look distinct from what I've seen in animated media, the movements are smooth, the background layout looks more polished, and here I can believe there was better animation work with less harsh management. Though, like I said, some of the designs, especially with the humans, look outright unfinished. I mean, just look at the main villain's daughter here. Who designed this monstrosity? Seriously, a lot of the humans look creepier than the Addams. In a movie that's supposed to establish how it's okay to be different from the rest of the crowd, it's pretty contradicting to have characters look like this and be seen as acceptable early on. But where the movie really fails given my implications is with the story. There was so much potential to tell a good story with these characters, yet it's wasted on a cliched, tired narrative of how it's okay to be different. The main plot is just Gomez and Morticia trying to host a family gathering with the town and interacting with various people in the town. It doesn't go anywhere, doesn't have any good jokes, and just goes in one ear and out the other. There's a subplot involving Pugsley going through this rite of passage thing just to try and impress Gomez. But this story feels less like a subplot and more like a running gag with no emotional impact. Though the best story by far is with Wednesday's subplot about her wanting to see more of the world after being kept inside the house for 13 years. It does a fairly decent job of showing that despite Wednesday's creepy demeanor, she also shows passion for others and wants to do more in her life other than just staying locked up. But as a whole, the story doesn't carry a lot of weight and isn't very funny. I can accept a bad story if there was at least some funny jokes or good character interactions. Sing pulled it off just fine, so why can't this movie? Because I feel like the characters aren't allowed to show off their true potential. If this is a family not bothersome about the way they act and love being themselves, why are they so nervous about a regular old town? Doesn't that kind of fly against their stance on humanity? Keep in mind, I don't know a lot about that myself since I never saw the other movies. All I could get was some research, but if other reviewers are pointing out this plot thread, then maybe I am right about something. The actual characters are mostly fine, and I do really like the voice acting, but some are worse than others. The villain is literally Smiler from the Emoji Movie, her daughter suffers a cliched story beat, and the Addams do some kooky things every now and then, but the character development doesn't hold much weight and almost comes out of nowhere in the plot they're in. And the story beats are really hard to swallow. So I mentioned before that the villain wants to rid of the Addams family by spreading false rumors about them on social media, and it also results in her downfall considering she was being live streamed. Not only is that a pathetic way to put the villain in their place, but relying on social media as a plot point is going to date this movie horribly. It does have a decent message about how social media can be both harmful but also have good uses, but still. And by the time the villain is defeated and she loses her TV show, what happens? She has an off-screen redemption for no reason other than to tell a joke? Then, by the very end of the movie, the house the Addams live in gets painted pink, which apparently is a callback to how the original show had the house painted pink to pop better on a black and white TV, but that was behind the scenes stuff. Why would they make the house look like everyone else's in a movie that's telling you about how it's okay to be different? In all fairness though, there's nothing horrible or unredeeming that the Addams Family movie does to make it a train wreck, but carries is no kooky Addams Family-esque nature enough to make it entertaining, and it's all backed up by a really boring story and weak writing. As a viewer seeing this as his first Addams Family movie, I was severely disappointed. I don't know if the other Addams movies are better than this or not, but I really wanted this to be a good movie. I mean, if this studio can make Sausage Party one of the funniest movies of 2016, why couldn't they do something similar with this? It just suffered so much wasted potential. If you enjoy the movie, more power to you, but I'm probably gonna watch the other movies to hopefully get a better time.